Hello, happy 2024. Today is the first day of 2024, and today I'm going to do a review on gravel, whether or not it's a good way to create garden paths with gravel. You can see here, I'm already letting you know that it's not a good thing. So what happens is with gravel, the first few months or even a year when you put it in, install it, it looks beautiful. But after a few years, look at what has happened. So you can see over time you get a lot of soil underneath this gravel. I'm gonna have to clean up this area, and I've already started. I just pulled the gravel up there. So from my experience, I guess it really doesn't matter what kind of gravel you use. I've used the bigger gravel, smaller gravel, this more packed in gravel. This is called slate, and it lays flatter. So out of all the gravel that I use, I prefer the slate kind better because they pack down so much better, so you don't get a lot of light penetration, so you get less weeds growing from the bottom, growing through them. With the bigger gravel size like I have in my front and back patio area, they don't pack really well and they're not easy to walk on either. With the small size gravel, you might get them in your shoes, but the ones that I have are not small enough to get in the bottom of my shoes there. It doesn't matter what gravel that you use, eventually you're going to have the weed growing through. I will say too that this area was compromised when we had the tree removed from this area. The way that they removed the tree, they just literally dragged the whole tree through this pathway. They remove a lot of soil and they just drag the whole area forward. This is where I noticed a lot of the weed issues, so that added to the situation. Here in my zone, I get a lot of water, I get a lot of soil runoff, and that's mostly why gravel doesn't work here, because it stays wet over here. If you live in an arid environment, a drier environment, maybe gravel might work better for you. So to help with the weed pressure, I apply the pre-emergent on the lighter gravel to help with that. But for the darker gravel here, I have not been doing that. I just pull them, so you could tell from that the weed pressure on the slate type of gravel is a lot better than the other kind of gravel from my experience here. Knowing what I know now, I'm definitely going to be thinking twice about using gravel, and I will definitely choose mulch pathway over gravel pathway a lot better, just because with mulch you can take it out, you can add to it, it'll decompose and degrade later. Whereas gravel, they don't really decompose. So over time, if you keep adding gravel year after year, you're gonna have soil with a lot of gravel. And trust me, it's harder to dig when you have to plant something when you have a lot of gravel underneath. In the beginning, when I wanted to start doing pathways, like the main pathway around the perimeter of the house, I did want to get concrete pathway, kind of like the one that we have in the front, but it was going to be so expensive, and they might have to grade the landscape, or just grade the whole space as well. I didn't want to change too much of what we have already, and as an alternative to that, I thought the gravel pathway would work so much better, be so much easier to install, less expensive, and then it would be something that my husband and I could do ourselves. Nothing here is really permanent. That was my thinking, to not create any permanent structures or anything like that. Anything that I would be doing would be something that I can personally do on my own without much help from my husband. If we ever sold a house and if the new owner wanted to just let go of, what we have done here or whatever they decide to do, it would be so much easier for them to remove things. I wasn't going to put the cardboard down because I've already removed the weeds, but I noticed that there's still like weeds, roots popping up, and I don't know how far I need to go down. I went down as far as I can. I still see them. So because of that, I'm going to have to use the cardboard and see if that will help to suppress the weeds longer. I mean, it's hard to just keep pulling. I don't know if I want to spend my time doing that. And I decided to just edge the end there. And I know I didn't use the right tools for the right project. That's what I used. So that's what I most ended up using most of the time. That spade. So it took me several hours, I'm sure. So I'm just going to hose that down, the fabric liner, and then maybe I'll line the cardboard first and then hose everything down, wet everything down, and then put mulch on top. So I made sure that this section here was a little bit lower than the gravel pathway. So hopefully that will help to direct the water to another area versus having it all going down the gravel pathway. So hopefully that'll help with the gravel, with the dirt going to the gravel in a high quantity way. All right, so after several hours later and crazy gardening hair later, it's finally done. Done enough that I want to have completed today. So let me go ahead and show you what it looks like. As you can see, I lined up everything right there to help with soil erosion going down there. And then I'm just gonna live with this for a little bit and see what it does, just to see how bad the erosion is when it rains here, and then I will decide what I want to do. For the most part, I like what I've done here. So the take-home message is that when you do have a gravel pathway or a gravel space or patio, whatever it may be, there is maintenance involved with it. It's a different kind of maintenance. It may take longer as far as what you should do first, second, third, and all that. Whereas like I mentioned earlier, going forward, I'm just gonna do a mulch. That way it's easier. If I want to remove it, I can just remove the mulch and then reapply the mulch. Whereas this one, I still have soil underneath the gravel there, and then there's soil here too. But like how much soil is enough for you that you're not getting irritated or it's not causing a lot of weed pressure. So you have to take that into consideration as well. Like this project was only supposed to take me, I wanted to spend an hour or two, but it ended up being several hours, and partly because of my fault, I had to do extra thing with the mulch area right there, so that was unexpected. So there is maintenance involved, and maybe this is something that you might not want to spend time on. You might want to spend time on pruning or doing other gardening chores instead. Again, I'm not saying that I don't want you to use gravel. I just wanted to share with you my experience with gravel. I guess I learned it the hard way, so hopefully you learn from my experience before you lay down gravel for the first time. Well, that is it. I hope you enjoy the video. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please click on the like button and consider subscribing to this channel. And until my next video, take care. Have a great new year and bye for now.